Yo, what's going on? Great to finally be with you. It is day 2 of our mission transformation, and we had quite the evening over here in Asia because we finished the live training on day 1 with an amazing meditation. And I just got to mute this. And there's that delay. That's that 12-second delay. And we were up really late trying to get that workaround on that Facebook thing. So thank you all who were patient and looking for the replay, and apologies to all those who are on with us live. And I think it was about 2 minutes or so left in that guided meditation when what's it called? The copyright claim bounced us off. So thanks for tuning in and staying on. And one thing is, on our side, all of our admin team, we didn't notice it except just the viewer rate dropped precipitously. So that was the only thing, but I know many of you guys got kicked off the live. So apologize for that. And we posted the video 4 times over the course of the night. Was up till 2:33 a.m. and then had to get up again around 6 a.m. for some client meetings. So it was quite the evening, but I'm excited to begin day 2 with you. And I also want to acknowledge all those who've been posting your live video entries for day 1. So that is so inspirational, considering all the glitches that occurred. Another glitch that occurred was, I think as part of part of that copyright thing, Facebook limited a bunch of our functions inside the group. So or at least our admin team. So we're unable to create new post topics, hashtag topics. So our workaround on that is making a new unit. So hopefully you've seen the units tab in the Man Up group. And actually this is going live from our fan page. So if the actual mission transformation is being held inside the Man Up group. So if you haven't joined the Man Up group, join the Man Up group. We're doing it inside the group, even though I'm going live here so that we can share it to more places, which reminds me I need to share it to one more place. And then inside the Man Up group on the top, you got a bunch of tabs. One of those tabs is a very important tab called Units. We haven't used it much in the Man Up group until now. And we've created a new unit for day 1 live mission entries. And once this live is done, we're going to create a new unit for the day 2 live mission entries. And I want to just acknowledge all those who so far have submitted their mission entries. And I'm doing a shout out for Luke Taylor, Nate Farnsworth, Ty Elliott. Actually, I'm just going to go with first names. Darren, John, Angel, and Steve, and Rupayan. And there are more. We just haven't been able to put them all into units. With units, it's a little trickier. We can't do it from mobile. And there's a few other steps that we need to take. But we will tag everyone and put them into your own unit. So you get your own unit, man. And I've been so touched by those lives. And I'm sure many others of our other brothers have been as well. So, lots of comments coming. Hey, Darren, good to see you. Good morning to all. Well, let's see. Good morning to all those in America, and afternoon to those in Europe and the UK, and good evening to everyone in Asia. And I know there are people from all over as well in other areas. So let me know where you're tuning in from. Let me know how you're doing. How are the conditions for you? How is your lockdown situation, or even just what time is it for you? I'm curious. And as always, it's good to connect and realize that by going live here together, we're actually connecting with a community, even in this strange time of the pandemic, connecting to a community live right here. And we got guys from all over the world right now tuning in from Philippines. Hey, Paul. And Darren says 4 times the charm. And we're going to be doing another guided meditations that's actually quite advanced, and it will require you to hang in there. It's going to be quite an involved one. And if Facebook, we've tested this meditation. We've done a dry run in our test group, and it was actually there was one video section that was flagged, so we've replaced that and then tested it again. And it's so far so good. But you never know. I've run music tracks 15 times on different lives and never been flagged. And then it suddenly gets flagged for 15 seconds of music or something stupid like that. So you never know what the capricious Facebook bots will do. And then, of course, to ask for a human to review it takes 7 days. So you can see how much they care about the little guys, right? First name was advice. Okay, right. Well, the funny thing is, as soon as you enter the group, you'll see everybody's name anyway. And the thing is, it's easier for me to do that. But I think it is important to realize that what I'm doing is not. I don't think there's. I don't understand why it would be weird. So I'm doing how to be happier, how to bring more love into your life, how to help love others, how to bring love to yourself and self-compassion. And I have no idea why anyone would be ashamed about that. But I do know because of pride and ego that people have trouble stating the obvious, which is that we're all human and that we can all use some help. I, for one, over the past 24 hours, have been kind of freaking out about how do I mean, left some guys hanging in the middle of the meditation. And then we post a live, and then like 3 hours later, in the middle of our night, by the way, so between like 2 to 5 a.m., we're getting different notifications for the various tests that we're running. We're told, oh, that doesn't work. That doesn't work. We finally have the workaround for Vimeo. So if you didn't know that, I've posted the link to the live replay on Vimeo.com, which also limited our account right away when we posted it, but only because it was a new account and they thought it was spam. So luckily they had someone standing by to lift it pretty quickly, but it was again like, of course, right? So I too had to be with my parts. I too had to go in, and I'm still doing that right now. A lot of last minute technical glitches and mistakes happening here as we were going live. And even now, just settling down my parts, and some of my parts that handle these executive or business type of decisions are feeling quite frazzled. So they're looking towards the higher self, the true self, to say, okay, I'm out of my element now, can't do this right now, I'm going to freak out. So I need you to take over. And luckily, they're very happy to step aside. So as even now I'm being with those parts in myself, I'm able to bring everything back to equilibrium with courage and confidence and care and connection and compassion and some creativity as well. And some of the lessons that many of you have expressed in your live video entries, which have been fantastic. And by the way, I would love to hear now, like a day later, how you feel. What was it like for you yesterday? Coming out of that meditation, what did you take away from it? And I know many of you shared in your live video entries, but it'd be great for you right now to write that into the comments there. So it'd be great to hear that. Okay, hey John, good to have you on, and Steve, of course, Jonathan, good to see you. You can't do a live in a unit. Oh no, you can, John. So you can. I'm sharing on the admin side, so you guys don't worry about anything. You do it as normal. When we put it into a unit, I shared too much. Don't worry about any of that stuff. We'll take care of the tech. You just keep doing what you guys have always been doing. We'll take care of it. Hey, Kim Hong from Malaysia. Good to see you here as well. 5:30 a.m. in North Idaho. Oh, wow, John. I really appreciate you being on and getting up early. And yes, Jonathan notices, just breathe. Thanks, Darren. We all appreciate everything you're doing, and little glitches don't matter. These challenges rock and are super helpful. Oh, thank you. No worries about any speed bumps that are experienced. Oh, thank you very much. Oh, wonderful, Steve. Yeah, just noticing the feeling and saying hi to it, it just kind of melts away. Absolutely, absolutely. And I suppose there is some kind of stigma to people who don't like are showing any emotions. And well, those guys aren't getting laid, by the way, so that's one thing. But everyone who's normal or average or appears that way, it's just because you don't know them well enough. I fucking believe it, that as you get to know human beings, those people that you thought have it all together and are normal or average, and you just want to be like that, as you get to know them deeper, you'll find out that they're as complex and as fallen and vulnerable and weak and broken as any other human being. And if you're there listening to this and like, no, I'm not. Fucking awesome, man. I got this six-pack. I got millions of dollars. I got the babes off my, I'm like, okay, yeah, I met plenty of guys like that. I'll give it a year max, maybe 2 years max. And eventually you're going to hit that rock bottom. And hopefully my content will be there to help you at that point. But it's just like an addict who's on a bender. There's nothing much more you can say to that person. So what yesterday in day one, we started with the parts that are feeling it, feeling the pain, feeling the confusion, feeling lost, feeling not understood or not paid attention to. And that's already a big improvement over most of the world. That thinks even paying attention to your emotions is, well, actually, I don't know if most of the world is anymore, but when I was growing up, it seemed like that the majority of people don't even talk about their emotions. They're not even aware of them. So just being aware of those parts that are feeling stress or anxiety or pressure and attending to them is already a huge step forward. And just being with them, that first step, which we did on day one yesterday, just being with them helps them to relax. And once they're relaxed, they're able to trust. And they're able to trust your true self or higher self or more mature parts that are able to bring that courage and confidence to them, as well as that compassion and care. So we're picking up from that point where we left off, and anything else you can share from that time, from your meditations from yesterday. I'm going to share a little bit from my own experience today, and anything that you can pop into the comments would be wonderful. So today is all about moving into your the parts that have that power and have that courage and confidence. And it's not just your true self that has those qualities, but there are also parts of you that are adventurous and spontaneous and just go for it. And sometimes you'll feel, especially this past year of 2020, you'll feel those more pained parts or vulnerable parts pulling down your self-system because of their self-doubts and their pain and their hurt. And we first attend to them, and we still will always attend to them. And through the therapeutic process, as they begin to heal, there's going to be less of that pulling back and more of that they'll bring play and joy and a kind of innocence to your experience of life. And that's a really wonderful thing. And it's also very attractive for either gender to have that. And it just feels amazing. But it is a process. So we started it off yesterday, and it will continue. And hopefully we've been able to help those parts relax back a little bit, or at least feel a little bit more understood. And today and tomorrow, we're going to be proceeding further with uncovering your true authentic self, of helping you break free out of this paralysis that some of you are in, or just negative thought patterns or neurotic behavioral patterns. And I know in 2020, because there's this lockdown and many of us have experienced at least a period of time where we're just sort of confined to our home and subsisting on delivery and I suppose Netflix or something like that. And it's easy for us to get into this inertia, and it becomes this kind of bad habit and a pattern. And then it becomes hard to break out of that, to do something better or different, or create that momentum going forward for change or transformation. And we're going to go through a really deep process today that will trigger those parts in a good way. I think triggering is always good, actually. It just depends what you do with the triggering. But it will activate, let's use that word, activate those parts that will come alive for challenge and really enjoy challenge and feeling at the edge of your comfort zone. Because we all have those parts. Maybe for some people, those parts have been dormant, or they've been shoved aside or overwhelmed by the parts that are hurt and in pain. So we never start, well, it's never a good idea to just start and go straight to the motivation, the parts that love motivation. But everyone does, right? We go on YouTube, we just watch motivational videos and we think we lack motivation. But actually what we lack isn't actually motivation. It's we not attending to those parts that are getting in the way of moving forward because of their own pain, and they're not being attended to. And the self-sabotage that happens. So we started off with that yesterday. And today and tomorrow, we're also going to be discovering the power of our vulnerability even further unearthing that, and ultimately learning about the different pieces of the puzzle, or the different steps to creating a fulfilling, enjoyable, happy life, a meaningful life. And a big part of that is paying attention to all of the different parts of us. And tomorrow, we're going to be integrating everything that we're covering today and yesterday and taking it to the next level. All right. So that it's really important that you come back yet tomorrow. In fact, tomorrow is probably the most important of the 3 days. So if you only do one of the days, day 3 is a day you got to do for sure. But today and tomorrow, we're leading up to what we're going to be integrating tomorrow. Okay. So on day 3. Again, the fact that you're even on here at all, I want to honor that. I want to say you have already made that step into committing to growth, and that's the first necessary step. Nothing will happen unless you commit to that, because any kind of growth that doesn't just happen naturally without you trying, any kind of growth that requires any effort at all, or any kind of process requires commitment. Otherwise, you'd have it already. So that first step of I'm committing to this, I'm committing to this process, I'm committing to me, I'm committing to investing in me, that commitment that you're making here just by being on at this odd time for wherever you're at, trust me, it's an odd time for me too, is awesome. And I want to honor that. And we're going to start from victory to move to victory. All right. So we're going to start from the fact that we're acknowledging and giving yourself a pat on the back for something that's good, because this reward to yourself will help you to continue to move forward. And you need to reward what you're doing right so that you'll keep doing that. And notice this other talk about parts, that we have these different parts. I'm going to get into the detail and the science of that a little bit today, a little bit more. But just the languaging of it. There's a part of me that does this, part of me that wants this, part of me that wants that. And sometimes the parts conflict, or often they conflict in people if you go far enough into growth. And what are these things? And notice that we all have parts that feel certain things, that have certain qualities. Sometimes they're hardly ever there. Like, I know many of you want to get better with women or want to do better in dating. And many of you have experienced at least once in your life when the date or the social interaction went really smoothly, and it felt like you didn't have to put any thought into it at all. And there is a part of you that when other parts are quiet down and relaxed, that part that really enjoys those social interactions or enjoys getting to know somebody and isn't self-conscious around it, that part comes out and it's goes swimmingly. But it's when other parts come in with their own anxieties or their insecurities, or they get triggered by something, and then they have this fear that comes up, and then they block or they cloud things. And that is what's happening, that's getting in the way. So being able to even differentiate, unblend, separate from these parts to whatever degree you can. Maybe they're so integrated or blended with you that you can't, but to be able to blend it, unblend as much as you can, to be able to say, oh, there it is. Just even that step of realizing it's a part is already a huge step, because it's just realizing it's a part, even if you're kind of taken over by it, just realizing that you're taken over by it. That's already a great step forward, because it's like, okay, a part of you has stepped out enough to be able to observe that that's a part. Whereas most people just get triggered and then they are out of control. And then it feels like that's them 100%. But it's actually never the case. It's just a set of neural pathways that came online, that were created or triggered by some kind of traumatic event or perceived trauma or perceived micro trauma that necessitated this new coping strategy of whatever this is. And the coping strategy might have been what therapists call a firefighter part that comes out really strongly in a really extreme way to prevent any further hurt and pain from happening. Or it might have been a managerial part to protect from being triggered. So whichever way it is, these are coping strategies that might have worked, and that actually did work way back when you were a child or whenever they first came online. And now they're not serving you so well. And here's a sign of a guy who still has a ways to go with self-awareness, is when you ask him, okay, this pattern that you've been experiencing, maybe it's this nervousness around women or whatever that is, or maybe this is neediness when on a date, or when you've been dating a girl for a while and she doesn't respond. So you're getting really nervous in between texts, like really antsy about it. And you ask him, oh, notice that, and think about that first time that feeling came up, or that maybe he becomes either needy, or maybe he overcompensates by telling too many jokes or whatever it is, or putting on this kind of try hard persona, and he can't even stop it from happening. He noticed that. And when was the first time that started happening? Or when was the first time that part started doing this job of trying to manage things in this way? And often they'll say, oh, it was like 2 years ago when my ex dumped me or something. And that's a sign that he hasn't actually gone to the root of it. Because if you're in your 20s or 30s or 40s or 50s or later, those neurotic patterns are very rarely originating from your adult life. And dealing with it at that level is sort of like trying to fix a problem that's at the roots by attending to the branches. So going deep and unearthing the original problem is the solution. However, it's not as direct as that. You can't just go, okay, go find that original time and then let's work with that. It's something that becomes revealed by your unconscious through trust. And trust can only happen when the fears begin to be alleviated. And the fears can only begin to be alleviated when the parts start to relax more. And they can only relax more when they feel attended to and they feel safer, right? Because you're being with them. So they know they're not alone. And they know that there's someone there who is more capable than they are, who can handle it. So that was why we began day one at a pretty mature and deep level. And I'd covered material on day one that I've never done in a live context. So check that out if you haven't already. And just checking in here, getting a sip of water here. And I'm saying hi to Fabian, Andrew, good to see you. And Will and Terry, good to see you as well. And Darren says, the part that confuses me is how to attend to and relax through my emotions. Is that basically just meaning not to press it down and ignore it? Well, I demonstrated for you, and I can demonstrate further. I think it's helpful to normalize what it's like. So when I started the live, I don't know if anybody noticed, but I forgot to share the countdown timer. So it was just like blank screen. And I didn't notice until everything was set. And I was like, all right, here we go. And then I'm like, damn, it's just a blank screen. So we had to restart everything, had to retype everything up here. And I was quite frazzled. And then knowing already carrying into this what was going on day one. So what did I do? So I came in, I wanted to make it on time or roughly on time. So I couldn't take that moment to pause and what therapists call go inside and be with those parts that are feeling some kind of distress. And the distress I was feeling at this level was pretty minor compared to the kind of pain or hurt or distress or worry or fear or concerns that I have in mind as I'm working through this with you guys in day 1 and 2. But it's the same process. So you just pause. And so, okay, by the way, if you don't have these skills of mindfulness, of being with your parts, of sensing into your emotions, of knowing what parts you have, though that's the work, so to speak. It's pretty enjoyable work. And that's the work that we do in our courses. And I have, if you can see the link to, we've just opened up early bird registration for our Platinum Partnerships, an all access pass to all of our current and future courses. That's over 21 courses and counting right now. And we're about to launch a new one early next year. And our Platinum partners get access to everything. So they sign on whenever, and then they get access to all of what we have, plus everything that we do for the future. So it's sort of like an investment in me, whatever I do that they get access to. And there's over 500 hours of course material in there. You don't have to go through all 500 hours. You definitely don't. But it's all in there in the course archive, and we're continuing to add to it every week. And part of what you're going to get through this process, and as well, Platinum Partnership comes with a private coaching call. So part of what I do on that private coaching call with each of our Platinum partners is figure out what their background is, what their goals are, and then give them a customized curriculum and way to go through that material in the best way for them. And one of the things that you learn is how to be with your emotions, how to sense into them, and then how to attend to them with interested curiosity. So I'm all frazzled coming in, right? So I feel it. Okay, so I know, oh, that's not my true self. Because my true self, as I covered yesterday, is fully confident and courageous and calm and connected and creative and compassionate. So all of this, that's a part. Oh, now I do that first step I just talked about, right? Oh, I notice it's a part. That's already beginning to unblend from the part. And now I can be with the part, because if you're blended with the part, you can't help the part. You just are the part. So be able to unblend from the part, then you can attend to it. And so I go inside and I see it. I see this part. And these are, by the way, just sets of neural pathways. And they represent to me in a kind of visual way, But to others, they represent in an auditory, like just with voices, different voices or different sayings that they like to say. For others, it's just feelings in the body. These are people who are more generally kinesthetic. I feel it. I feel to a certain degree, I hear it and I feel it, but I also very strongly see. So they represent themselves as visual images. And it happens naturally. It's surprising how they do it. And it's like they have a life of their own, which they do. And then I attend to them just like this. And I'm able to be with the part. I'm just with the part. And you just let it feel my courage, confidence, and calm, and that everything will be all right. And I also feel its distress and its worry and its overwhelm. And it slowly relaxes as it feels. And I don't actually have to say anything to it, though I could. And it's as fast as that. When you have a good relationship between your true self and your parts, the relaxing of the distressed parts can happen in a matter of seconds. This is something that takes practice every day until you strengthen that relationship. So this is something that we cover in some of our courses. And we begin by simply getting to know your parts. And we already have. On day one, yesterday, we got to know the parts that are vulnerable and feeling hurt and overwhelmed and in pain. And we're able to attend to them without judgment, without criticism, without wishing they were different, but just being with them. Like a child who is overwhelmed and you want to just, instead of telling it, stop being overwhelmed or stop feeling what you're feeling, God damn it. That's not very good or effective parenting. What they really want and need, actually, what they really need is to have this strong, capable adult to sit with them and love them and to just be with them while the child is feeling whatever emotions they're feeling, and not to judge or wish away these emotions, because they are, after all, what the child is in fact feeling. And also teaching the child that whatever it's feeling, if it's in distress, it will pass. And being with it rather than pushing it away is what allows that to happen. Because when you resist it and wish it away, it actually gives it force, sort of like a gas that you push down, or it actually creates more pressure. So when you're with it, it can begin to relax because it trusts the true self. Now, for most people, and I've covered this in other YouTube videos that go for 4-hour lecture series, 8-hour seminar series, so it can go into a lot more detail. I'm not going to do that, but you can find that on my YouTube channel and my website. And in my courses, go into a lot more detail in the actual courses themselves. Most people don't have self-leadership. In other words, they don't have their true self in leadership of their mind. And it's sort of like a football team where instead of having the coach calling the plays and the players listening to the coach, instead the players have thrown the coach and locked him up in one of the lockers. And now the field's a mess because the linebackers grabbing the ball from the quarterback and trying to run plays, and the quarterback's all confused and he's acting like a wide receiver, and some guys are running the wrong way. And it's a mess because there's no leadership, because they don't trust the coach. So helping bring the true self out, part of the work of the therapist and what I do in my courses, is to stand in as, for that moment, as a substitute true self for you. And then to help you develop some harmony between the parts, getting to the parts to know each other, getting to know the parts. And then at the same time that happens, because no one now is guarding the locker room, the coach is able to break out of the locker he's got locked in and come onto the field and begin to do what he already knows how to do. And then as part of the therapeutic work is introducing the true self to the parts and having them get to know each other. And it might be, if it's a long time, the true self has been around, the parts might react like, where have you been? We've been needing you. Right? And so that whole thing happens. And it's a beautiful process if you even get to that point. That's already just getting to know the parts creates so much more meaning and happiness and fulfillment in your life. Right? So this is what we are doing. I don't know if you realize that you're doing it, but we're slowly getting to know these parts in your brain. And I'm going to be introducing some of the science of this. And I'm going to be showing you parts of the human brain and the neuroscience of it, and showing you that it's actually quite well empirically verified and founded and scientifically backed. Though I don't know, in some parts of the US, it seems like science is a bad word or something, which is quite unfortunate because otherwise what do you go on? Anyway, so I'm going to be showing you some science, but let me just check in here before I move on to the next point. Hey, Adam. Hey, Frank. Good to have you. Join us. And Mike and Amari. Good to see you again. And Andy. Oh, William is out in Quebec. Awesome. Andre, good to see you. And Jonathan. Yes, of course. In fact, Jonathan says, sometimes when I'm anxious, it will be much more difficult for me to meditate and stay calm. That's exactly when you need to meditate more. You don't need to meditate when you're already calm. I mean, it'll feel great, but that's sort of like saying, I'm going to work out when I'm jacked. It's when you're not in good physical shape that you need to work out the most. So yes, when your mind's going like this is when you need to double up on your meditation. Do 40 minutes or as much as time as you can, right? Because you need it more. Okay, just make sure that's clear, that you're not supposed to be. And by the way, if you're still confused about it sounds like if there's any confusion around how meditation works, I've partnered up with a really great meditation coach, Stefan Ravalli, and we've put together a side project just for meditation, and we've put together a free course on that. You can find that at tensionmindfulness.com. And I don't know if I'm just saying it like this. If you want to write in, we can put this in the bottom there, so you can just click on the link. Darren says, amazing, thank you. I struggle with attending to those different parts in the moments of frustration and overwhelm. I need to learn to slow down in those moments and feel and release it. Yeah, excellent, excellent. And Diptaranjan, welcome, Dipto, afternoon in Denmark. Excellent, good afternoon to you. And so just letting you know that we're gonna be speaking now, shifting to another set of parts. Right? So we're shifting over to those parts that really enjoy being at the edge of your comfort zone. Now, there are parts that don't like to get anywhere near the edge of your comfort zone. And their comfort zone is almost like pain because they're so used to it. They're very, comfort's the wrong word. They're very just, it's like their habitual zone. This is how they're habituated. They're just used to it this way. And yesterday we attended to those parts. And very likely those parts need a lot more attending to, weeks and weeks more. And I'm letting them know we haven't forgotten about you. And we will always come back, especially tomorrow, to attend to you. But if you can just relax enough so that we can now speak to those parts of you that might be more adventurous, that enjoy challenge, that have more ambition, that want more for your life, that enjoy doing things that will stretch you and cause you to grow. And I know there are parts of that like that in you because you're on this live right now, right? Like I've been saying yesterday and today, near the beginning, the fact that you have committed to your growth by being here live and still watching this is huge. And that tells me that you have parts that are resonating with this message, that there is more to life than whatever you've been getting now. And you can continue to get more and more in this path of growth, this path of progress can continue all the way through your life. And enjoying it all the way through rather than having to beat yourself up to get whatever goals your achiever parts are afraid that if they don't get, they won't be good enough. But instead to be able to enjoy the whole process, those parts are active in you. And we're going to make it almost effortless to do it. And that is going to be the culmination of today. Again, I'm a little bit nervous that when we start the meditation, the music that we're going to be using might get flagged, even though we've tested it a bunch of times. So again, in case you get kicked off, trust me, we will be posting a live replay as soon as we can, okay? And we apologize in advance if that happens. We've done everything we can to prevent it. Okay, so again, the edge of your comfort zone. Now, so everyone knows, I hope you know what it feels like to be on your edge of your comfort zone where you're growing. So there's like your comfort zone where you're comfortable. I don't know, sitting on your couch watching Netflix is pretty in the center of most people's comfort zone, especially if it's like a TV show that has a lot of episodes and that it doesn't particularly challenge you, but you can just relax and forget about life, right? So that's like comfort zone. And then you get towards the edge, you get a little fear, but you know it's good for you. So you're kind of to the edge. And then just beyond the comfort zone, ooh, that's where the real growth happens. Because if somebody throws you way beyond your comfort zone, you're treading water, you don't learn anything. You're just freaking out. And she's like, get me back. and now you're just in fear. And the worst part is that now you've conditioned going out of your comfort zone with fear and danger, and it'll actually cause people to stop wanting to get anywhere close to the edge of the comfort zone. So what we want to do, what's best for you, is actually to get to your comfort zone and then just go a little bit beyond it. And then there are parts of you that really enjoy just being at the edge. This looks really dirty, but that's where it is. Just being at the edge of your comfort zone and then getting used to stepping just beyond it. And then as you learn from that, because you're going to fuck up and make mistakes, that's part of what it means to take risks, right? And being a little bit at the edge of your comfort zone. Then coming back, consolidating, regrouping, recovery, and then figuring all that out, and then stepping out again and getting another batch of learning done. And there are parts in you, and the true self enjoys this too, of being at the edge of your comfort zone, because that is where learning occurs. That's where growth occurs. And how do you get there? So it's really easy to sink back into the middle of your comfort zone, in the center of your comfort zone. It's easy to do that. That's like, it doesn't take any effort to do that. It takes effort to move to the edge of it. And how does this happen? It happens through decision. And I want to tell you an example from a client. His name is Darren. And Darren made this decision that was really huge for him. That last year, after going through our course, Lifestyle Mastery, and some of our other courses that have to do with lifestyle change and transformation of the way you live your life, the meaning of your life, he discovered that he didn't like being in the city that he was in. He wanted to see the world. He wanted to explore more, especially in Asia. The problem was his job was located in California. So what he did was, and partly through what he learned in Lifestyle Mastery, my course, he negotiated with his boss to have a remote working arrangement, a trial where he just worked from home for a little while. This is last year. And he worked extra hard from home so that he was able to say to his boss, look, I'm actually more productive on my own. And so his boss gave him 2 months leave so that he was, well, not leave, sorry, 2 months remote working. He wasn't on leave. 2 months remote working where he could do this job and just be on team meetings, which would be at like 4 a.m. for him, but once a week team meetings, and then just do all of the work and coordination over Zoom or whatever it was. And he was able to work remotely. And he lined up the business visa for this subtropical place in Asia. And that was at the end of last year. And then he moved out here. And he was enjoying it, he was loving it, but it was just supposed to be 2 months. And then COVID happened. And his boss said, you stay out there. You don't come back. You stay out there until things quiet down. And you know what happened? Things never quiet down. So the boss kept extending, and now company-wide, everyone is on a remote working arrangement. And at some point, he's living in a place that is his dream location, in a villa with a pool, walking distance from the beach, for penny, like a fraction of what he was paying out in California. And he's just loving life, despite the lockdowns that were happening in that area, because you can still walk to the beach there and everything. And he made a really good decision. The thing was, he was gnawing over this decision, mulling over it for the better half of last year. But then when he said, that's enough, there was a moment at work where he was just like frustrated with the commute that ate up so much of his time, and just being stuck in that stale environment for him, because it was his comfort zone to be there, and the inertia of being in that comfort zone where he couldn't break out of it. He said, that was enough. I'm not going to live another minute, another week or month, or especially not another year in this situation. And he took that action. And that moment of decision was all it took, right? So you can ruminate, or the ruminate's the wrong word. You can contemplate, reflect, plan, strategize, look for opportunities, possibilities, line up and explore and research, investigate, until that moment of decision when you know what you ought to do. You got to pull the trigger. And that decision is what takes it out. And what happens is, the best way to make sure that this happens is that you take an action right then at that moment of decision. So what'll happen is, many of us when we're on the cusp of that decision, we wait again. And you know what it's like, because there's a part of you that's like, we should have pulled the trigger. We should have gone. We should have handed in our resignation, or we should have put down the deposit on that lease, or we should have applied for the visa, or we should have bought that plane ticket, or we should have put down the deposit for that private coach or for that fitness training or whatever it was, right? Maybe we should have, let's go to dating. We should have texted her right when it was going hot on that communication. And instead we dragged it out longer and pussyfooted around and never got around to asking. And then she stopped replying for a while, and then we lost our window of opportunity. Or pre-COVID, or even maybe now for some people, you see the girl you want to meet and you waited too long and you worked up your courage, and then she left. And now you have to chase her down the sidewalk if you do it at all. All right, and then you wait again. Oh, I know guys who've spent 3 hours roaming the streets, as creepy as that is, waiting, trying to work up the courage to go talk to, oh, not that. Oh, shoot, left. Okay, well, I'll wait another half hour until another girl comes along. Oh, got to work up the courage. It didn't happen. And what happens? You create people doing this. Every time you step back from a window of opportunity, you create a habit of stepping back. You create a habit of not taking action. You create a negative habit. And a lot of people have created negative habits that have kept them in the center of their comfort zone. And the edges are so far for them for the comfort in their comfort zone because they're in their center so much. The key is to not you can slowly move to the edge through investigating, research, some reading around and just analyzing. But when that point has come, when you need to now, you can now pull the trigger. You can now say yes. And the way to do it at that moment of decision is to take action. So my friend or client, Darren, what he did, because he knows this lesson that I've embedded into all of our big courses, you've got to take action when you made that decision, not just decide and do nothing, but you've got to take action, decide and then take action. Is he put in that email to his boss. Can't take that back. And when he put out that email and hit send, he didn't let his doubting mind get in the way of all his fear, because he knows this was good for him. Hit send. Okay, and now we attend to those parts that have all his fear, right? Because it's too late to take it back. Do something where it's a little bit too late to take it back. It's never always too late to take it back, but it's a lot harder to take it back. Take an action that forces you to have skin in the game, so to speak. It forces you to follow through. This is also the key to these New Year's resolutions, where people are just on the fence, they're playing it easy, they're straddling, they're playing it safe. And then what happens with these New Year's resolutions? 90% of people, 2 months in to the year, stop making progress, because it was based on this in the moment motivation that they were hoping for. And one day, 1 week, 1 month, no more motivation, and there's nothing to keep them moving forward. It's that action that you take. His next action, after the boss worked out the trial arrangement, was to then put in the application for the business visa, right? And then maybe for some of you in America, maybe just applying for a passport. I know that the majority of Americans don't even have a passport. Just that act of, okay, I'm put that application in, starts to put a little bit of skin in the game for you to move forward. Taking that action at the moment of decision. So you can analyze as much as you need, but there's that point at which you make that decision, and then you say, that's enough, not another, I can't take this for another second, minute, week. That's a beautiful point in your life. Now, if you've gotten in the habit of getting to that point and then stepping back, getting to that window of opportunity and not stepping through, then you've actually cultivated, trained yourself into not being an action taker, which makes it hard for you to have any kind of growth in your life, because all growth comes from stepping beyond your comfort zone, taking that moment when that window appears and stepping through. Okay, so there are parts of you that really enjoy that. And maybe I'm talking to people who maybe you are used to it, and that's awesome. Keep doing it and give yourself a pat in the back. And maybe these parts that have been taking these opportunities, maybe they've been running roughshod over your more vulnerable parts and need to slow down, which is why we didn't start with this message. We didn't start with these parts, because these parts generally are going to have a lot more energy moving forward around them anyway. So I wanted to attend to those parts that were more vulnerable, that are pulling back, that are maybe blocking, or more often the energy is more of holding on to those parts' legs or their clothes, just pulling them back. No, 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 I don't want to go. No, people don't understand me. All right, so we started with that. And now we come to these parts here that have that forward momentum because they really enjoy that. Now, these parts have also probably been moving forward out of a kind of neurotic fear that if they don't move forward, that they're not enough. So this is a message that I started with yesterday that applies to all of the parts of being from a place of love, from a place of acceptance and compassion for any kind of pain or hurt or fear that those parts have, and helping them to release that fear. Because once you've been released from fear, it's not like you don't want to do anything. That's boring. There's still parts that really want to do stuff. But maybe these other parts have been so deadened by fear, the parts that we talked about yesterday, that it feels like they wouldn't do anything. And there's that big fear of these achieving parts, that if they remove the fear, which is what has been powering them all this time and has been burning them the fuck out, that if they remove the fear, then they would be lazy bums and they would lose everything they worked so hard for. That's a real fear. And that's a fear founded on neurotic patterns and a coping strategy that came out of perceived trauma early on. And once you relieve that, maybe the activity that you would do, that you would put your time and effort into, would change, and maybe it would stay the same. But what is gone is that neurotic energy of running away from confronting your own fear that you're not enough. And so many people in the self-help world, coaches and students, and just purveyors and consumers of self-help stuff, are coming from that neurotic place of, I'm so afraid of not being good enough that I'm going to do all this extra stuff to become good enough. And that could be anything. It used to be school, money, career, babes, and then they replace it with meditation, fitness, diet, stuff they think is healthier. But it's still coming from a place of, I got to do all this stuff to earn my self-worth because I don't feel enough just in the way I am. And this is why we didn't start with this message, but we are now able to move into it, assuming that we've begun that phase of attending to those parts that are feeling that vulnerability of pain and hurt and worry and confusion. And then realizing that from their perspective as well, they have an accurate perspective of the other parts that are running forward to try to break through the comfort zone out of fear themselves. And there's a way to relax those parts, to say that there are things that you'd rather do instead of this other thing that this rat race that you're running, because you think if you do this, that you think that you don't really enjoy, only then will you be good enough. And that was part of the lesson for Darren, to release himself from needing to impress his parents, from needing to have a respectable job and a respectable career trajectory, and realizing that he valued a lot of other things more, including enjoying his life on a day-to-day basis and not just waiting until this promotion 5 years later or this other thing pay off way down the line for a little bit of enjoyment, a little bit of celebration, but he can celebrate that right now. And because of that, embracing that and accepting that, he was able to release this neurotic need to impress others, to strive for significance for others and status and all that bullshit that doesn't fulfill, that doesn't make you happy, especially in the long run. And then he was able to then sense through our courses, through some of our guided meditations on life purpose and so on, and the meaning of life, he was able to sense into those moments where he said to himself, yes, this is it. This is what life's about. I want more of these. And he realized that those moments had nothing to do with how much money he had nothing to do with any of the accolades that he had gotten through his career or his university or his grad school or any of that. Didn't mean anything. None of those were really those high points in his life where he thought this is it. The points in his life when he thought this is it were all simple moments of life, plain and ordinary moments of life, that where he was fully 100% present with his reality right there. And there was love and there was connection there. And that's what made life worth living for him. So then he just sat down and analyzed and strategized how to get more of that, how to make that the majority of his waking hours. And that's when he realized he needed to move. And luckily he pulled the trigger. He made the decision before the window closed. Unfortunately, for many of us around the world if he had waited unlike him, if he had waited, that window would have closed. So for like many of us around the world, those windows closed for pulling the trigger, for stepping forward, for getting to the edge of your comfort zone. Now you have to apply creativity to think of new ways of doing it. And there are new ways of doing it. But notice that there are windows of opportunity. There really are. And they don't come that often. And what you can do in between these opportunity windows as they appear is to prepare yourself and enjoy the process the whole way. But then when that window of opportunity presents itself, to say, yes, I'm going forward, let's do it. And to get in the habit of getting to the edge of your comfort zone and stepping one step or two steps beyond it. Getting in that habit. And then also taking care of yourself to recover, to recuperate, to regroup, and then going back to the edge of your comfort zone. Because there are parts of you that are feeling that if you don't do that, there are parts of you that will become desiccated. They will become empty, unfulfilled, and they will dry up. And you'll feel it, a kind of lack of motivation, a kind of lack of physical energy. And so I'm speaking to those parts right now. And if you have parts that resonate with what I'm saying, this message here, you are going to love what we're about to do in a few minutes. And let me just, okay, right, now we're moving into that. Excellent. And let me just show you before so as part of the preparation for what we're about to do, I'm going to show you a little bit of science, just a little bit, because I have parts that all of my parts that like to get to the edge of the comfort zone, like believe in research and knowledge and stuff like that. So I have a lot of critical parts that will get in the way if these questions, these rational questions aren't addressed. So I'm going to address a few of those really quick, and then we're just going to dive right into it. Okay, so just concluding there on the power of decision, and I'm going to look through here, through the comments. Hey, Sebastian, good to see you. Rashid, good to see you too. All right, William, New Year's resolution. No, they're different New Year's. So in Asia, generally it goes on a different calendar, a lunar calendar. But yeah, there's definitely resolutions. Everyone around the world wants to change. Of course, there are also New Year's wishes. That too. That's definitely the case. Hey, Andrew, I'm in the weird phase now where that fear of not being driven to achieve is gone. But now I'm like, now what's this? Oh, good. And William says, I'm the phase where two thoughts alternate. I do not want anything anymore versus I do not want what I actually want. Okay, great. So William, you're expressing a polarity, a part that wants A and a part that wants not A. That would be a straight up polarity. Or it could be a part that wants A and a part that wants B, and maybe A and B are in tension somehow. And part of what we've done in the past today and yesterday, was to speak to two different parts of a polarity. So that's what you attend to one, get to know its fears, understand its thoughts and everything. And the more, if you're new to my work, there's a lot more to it. So I don't know what there is like a 25-hour course you can take that will take you deeper, step by step through this. So I'm just giving you the tip of the iceberg here. But what you do is you tend to one part, understand its fears, attend to it, be with it from a place of loving acceptance and compassion. And then you attend to the other part. And then you have these parts see each other. While you're working with one, you have the other one watch, and then you work with the other and have this one watch. And then they will, as they understand each other, they will be able to communicate and come into more harmony. That whole mediation between these parts can only happen if there is the energy of the true self, of confidence, courage, care, concern, calm, connection, and so forth. Otherwise, it's just two parts going at it with no higher self there. So this is part of what I've been informing through this whole through these whole 3 days. And tomorrow, I'll be bringing it to more of a deeper integration and more of a speaking to directly to your higher self. Right now, I'm speaking to those parts that really enjoy being at the edge of your comfort zone. You might have multiple parts like that. Okay, so hey, Angel, good to have you on here. Oh, from Mexico, awesome, excellent. What's your time over there? Is it should be similar? Are you on Pacific time? Well, anyway, welcome. So it's good morning to you, isn't it? Anyway, just tell me if I'm wrong. I'm being ignorant here, not knowing where exactly in Mexico you are. Okay, so now let's get to the science, and I'm going to share first this image, and we'll start with the brain real quick here. And I'm going to stop sharing my video. Okay, so what's it look like here? Okay, so you've got the tripartite brain, and this is obviously really simplified, and but it's roughly, it's a good taxonomy of your brain. So in the top half, you've got the cortex, the cerebral cortex, and all of the reasoning, thinking, and planning. That's where everybody lives. This is the conscious brain. Okay, this is the part that we have the most control of. It does all of the, especially does the calculations for math and any kind of rational, cold, hard calculations. Then you've got more of the limbic, you have the limbic system, which we refer to here as the furry little animal. And this is the part that really enjoys cuddling, love, friendship, but also is the one craving status or significance, and is also feeling the emotions most strongly of anger and sadness. There's emotion up and down the whole brain, by the way. But here in the middle, it's a lot more of it is emotion. Okay. And then finally, we have the brain stem, our lizard legacy, the fight, flight, or freeze. And this is the food, sex, and safety part of our brain. So we already can see that the brain itself is split up into parts. And generally speaking, behavioral economics, the Nobel Prize winning work, this is pretty well understood. This is uncontroversial. This is indisputable that we have these different parts of the brain that handle different functions where more of these emotions are separated from the reasoning, but more accurately, it's more like conscious calculation versus automatic intuitive as the big dichotomy. Okay, what happens when I turn on my video? Do I block any of this diagram? Okay, so I just want to show you this tripartite brain, and now I'm going to share a different one and show you how important the rest of your body is. So we're not just brains in a body or brains in a vat. We are the whole freaking thing. You can see how the brain is connected through the brain stem. And I'm just going to double check that I'm not covering any of this. Maybe for now I'll cover this. Oh, good. I can. Okay, cool. I can keep my video on. So you can see here the brain is connected down the brain stem. This is the autonomic nervous system. And those in therapy or trauma work or in fitness, you understand how these two systems work, the sympathetic and the parasympathetic. And you even have it color coded here. And this is going all the way down your body. And the signals travel both ways. So notice that yesterday, I'm going to stop here now, I covered why it's so important to involve your body when you want to make a mental or emotional change. So many of us think we're still, this is Descartes' error. Antonio Damasio is a famous professor of neuroscience. Descartes' error, the error of the Enlightenment, the error of the Western Enlightenment is cutting off our thinking from the rest of our body, our feeling, our physical feeling, our physiology, right? The phenomenology of how it feels to be inside the human body, your human body. And we just think we're just thinking beings and that all of our problems can be resolved just through thought. And we cut ourselves off from the very thing that we are, that makes up who we are. And of course, there is all of this vestige of religious or spiritual views, thinking that you are a disembodied soul, and that's the true essence of you. And that might be the case, but right now, I don't know if that's, I don't really believe that, but it might be the case. I'll leave it open. But right now, on this planet, in this life, right now, you are embodied. So let me try, if we kill your body, let's see you go on without it. Right? If I got your body, I got you. You are your body. So that means the whole way down, up and down. And you can see it just through the science. So if you think that if you're going to take on this depressed, disempowered body language and repeat to yourself all these disempowering phrases and words, and you're basically reprogramming your brain, the unconscious parts of it, to believe these thoughts, and you think then you'll be able to just think your way out. Oh, that is really, really hard. It's possible, but very incredibly difficult. If, however, you're thinking your way out, well, it'll take you 10, 15% of the way, but then you also control your body and you move your body in ways that lead to the signals that you want to take on. Then you just allow the signal to travel up there. And in moments, you'll begin to feel, start to take on a new feeling. So many people who are depressed or who are down are in their comfort zone. Like I said, comfort zone is a weird word for that. They're in their habitual zone. This is where they're used to being, and they're scared of being happy. They're scared of being successful. They're scared of not failing because they're so used to being in that pity party zone that that's where their home is. right? And very likely, if you're watching this, you're somebody who's interested in growth. So you probably have parts that are beaten up on those parts that are interested in staying small and staying hurt. So we start with those parts yesterday without bringing any judgment to them, because there is good reason for that. And sometimes those parts that have been driving forward are doing it from a neurotic place. Very often it is. So that these parts that are in pain or vulnerable or tired or confused or lost, there's a good message that they're putting out there for the other parts to slow down, to turn around and take a look. And now there's also a positive message from that side that loves to hit the edge of the comfort zone, that loves challenge. And when I was working with Darren on this, he was able to then step out of that place of misery, that place of inertia, that place of feeling sorry for himself and self-pity, and then make those decisions, follow through with actions on the same day, probably in the same hour, to then send that email that he needed to send in that application that he needed to send, to book that plane ticket that he needed to book, right? To start booking the accommodations and just start to take those steps. And luckily he got through that window before it closed. And that's something that you can train. Don't think that in all of these small decisions, these small windows, that you don't act, that you just stay paralyzed on the fence, not doing nothing. And you think when the big decisions come, you're going to miraculously, magically man up and step up. It's not going to happen. You've got to take, it's a muscle. You got to take action and get used to it. Once you're used to it, it becomes habitual. And these parts that are used to moving forward because they enjoy it, well, they'll be able to see that window of opportunity and step through without fear. Or with fear, but understanding why that's there and able to step through. Right? And so we don't start with this. Remember, we started yesterday, day one, with understanding our pain and our hurt and our vulnerabilities, our deeper vulnerabilities. And then coming to these parts that actually enjoy adventure, spontaneity, new things, new frontiers, pushing the edge, growth, learning new things, mastering new skills, feeling alive. And one key, as I was sharing yesterday, and then I just went into today to show you that science, is using your physical body. And that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be involving the different parts of your brain and your autonomic nervous system. Not in a big way. Like yesterday, you guys who rocked it, and I know many of you did, and you shared live with us, you rocked it with the sound of your pain, and you replaced that with the sound of your angel tone, and you touched those parts of your body that brought them into alignment as you continue to give messages to your parts. And that was beautiful. And imagine that you were to do that. This is something that was available to you every day, that you don't have to wait until the next time I do a live challenge like this to explode in your growth. That this is available to you all the time. And this is for our platinum partners. And if you're enjoying this, there are ways to continue this, to have it available to you every day, every week. And I do have a coaching group where I go live every week. All right, so just keep that in mind. If this is going really well for you, this can become a habit. This is how you can make your life as a norm in your life. And that you get used to allowing those parts that enjoy the challenge of stepping forward and moving out of the comfort zone, getting that growth and progress. And then whenever they need to, recover, recuperate, regroup, and then attend to any parts that are feeling any kind of distress. And this whole process being so harmonious, almost effortless. And you'll notice that when you really believe something, you don't have to take any effort. Right? So like, I don't know how many of you guys believe that the earth is round or that the sun revolves around the earth revolves around the sun. But imagine this, or think about this, that for the majority of human history, Homo sapiens, or people didn't believe that. They believed the opposite. But now you believe it. And it's like, it's not that hard. You're just like, yeah. It's like, yeah. When you have a belief or a way of viewing things and you have to put a lot of willpower behind it, that actually already implies that you don't really believe it at some level. So what we're going to be doing is a 3-part process through the course of this guided meditation. We're going to do it through embodied cognition style. We're going to involve your autonomic nervous system a little bit. You're going to make some sounds, not the same ones as yesterday. And I'm going to give you some cues to help you out and to prep you for it, to frame you for it. And we're going to get to the point where these moments of decision are going to be like, yeah, of course. Yeah. So for Darren, it would have been, yeah, of course, I'm going to work out this remote working arrangement with my boss, and then I'll prove to him that I can do it, and then we'll extend it, and I'll figure out a way. If I can't see a way yet, I'm going to figure it out. Yeah, no big deal. And that kind of confidence of like, yeah, of course it's going to happen. That is the effortless level of confidence where the belief, you have to work hard to not believe it. And that belief guiding you. So yesterday, part of your challenge was to share, what would it be like if that phrase or that incantation that was so resonating with you, your parts, that if you lived the truth of those on a regular basis in your life, what would that do to your life? How would your life be different? And even just imagine that one truth, all I need is within me now. Or maybe it was part of the Ho'oponopono of the gratitude of thank you, thank you. Living from that place, it feels so much better and feels so much more effortless, right? And there's so much more confidence there and courage and compassion. And we're getting you closer to your true authentic self if you're not there already. And this is another step in that process, another step forward in bringing this into your body. Okay, so it's a 3-step process. It will be quite involved. This is one of the most involved that I do. And so word of warning, it's going to be about a half hour of music and of you having to stay concentrated. This is one of those ones that if you have to pop out in the middle of it, it won't mess up your unconscious mind or anything. So it's safe for something like this live stream, pop in and out. But if you do that, it's going to dilute the effect of it. So the best way to do it, if you want to get the most out of it, is to go all the way through, concentrate. Now, it's like I said, about a half hour. So if your mind wanders, it's okay. Just gently bring it back. Don't beat yourself up if your mind wanders. Hopefully I have enough music and stuff like that and movement, and that won't happen. But I don't know. I don't know if you're groggy in the morning, or for us in Asia, maybe you're sleepy or whatever it is. It's okay if your mind wanders. Don't worry about it. Don't beat yourself up about it. Just bring it back to my voice as I lead you through what to do. But it would be helpful if you put a little bit more concentration and focus to really stay with it. Okay, the other thing we're going to be doing is embodied cognition. Again, you're going to be using your body to lock in what's happening in your brain. Again, the whole brain goes all the way down the stem into your spine. So this is like you are an embodied brain here. So we're going to be using the whole body. And there's going to be times when I'm going to ask you or prompt you to celebrate. And that might be like, what's that like? So in your chair right now, you can celebrate. And that might be weird for you. But for those who have been habituated to being kind of dead end, to feeling kind of down, you're doing this with your body. Like I'm not down, but I do this, I start to feel down. So I feel really sleepy. It's because my body is now sending signals up through my spine to my brain to say, sleepy, sleepy, down, down. Actually, sleepy is not so bad right now for me, but you can do down, you can do sad, you can do angry, you can do all of these things, and then they will come out. Or you can do happiness. And here's one cue when I say celebrate in the meditation. Lift your hands above your head, okay? And you can even move them around. It'll help the blood flow into the right places. So it's been scientifically proven. If you lift your hands above your head, and then if you look up, okay, and even tilt your head up a little bit, all right? And the natural thing will be that you will then do this, and you will smile. Now, this might feel kind of weird. It's okay, right? Got to do it. If you're in your car, I guess you'll be hitting the roof of your car or something like that. But just try to get your head above your hands. Your hands above your head, and just kind of do this. Just pump the blood a little bit, yeah, and smile when I say celebrate, and then make the sound of celebration and just let loose. You already know how to do that. Trust the process, all right? So you just do the body movements here, okay? And then there's going to be times when I say yes. Because in the English language, especially, but also in many other languages, I don't know all the languages, so I haven't checked this all the way through, but in all the languages that I know and I'm aware of, yes feels different from no. So we're going to ask you to say yes, because yes already forces you to smile a bit, whereas no already has this downward tone. I guess you could say no. No, it doesn't really quite feel like no, right? But it's all in the tone. But no naturally goes with a kind of emphatic no, which is not bad, but it's a different energy. We're going to be using the energy of yes, which is welcoming energy. We're going to welcome in to your autonomic nervous system, to your limbic system, to your brain, all the way up to your frontal cortex, these new decisions, this new way of thinking about stepping through the window of opportunities and identifying them and taking those moments of decision and then taking action on those and getting in the habit of that and seeing how amazing that is for your life. And there might be parts of you that we spoke to yesterday or that maybe are coming up now as we think about getting to the edge of your comfort zone and stepping beyond them, that are saying, no, hold on back. And so I say to those parts that there is, if you want to have growth, this place in life where it feels like this wilderness, this jungle, maybe this dark forest. And it's a place of discomfort. But if you want to grow, if you want to get beyond wherever you're at and go further, if you want to step up, if you want to step beyond, if you want more, if you want to come out of distress, if you want to come out of the wilderness, you're going to have to go through. You'll have to go through. You have to go through the discomfort. And you have to embrace discomfort. In a way, what happens when you've habituated embracing the discomfort is that now discomfort becomes comfortable and you become comfortable with the previously uncomfortable. That's the process of cultivating your own powerful parts. There are already parts in you that are already craving that challenge. Now, maybe they haven't been used in a while. Maybe they haven't been activated or called on in a while. But we're going to start to talk to them in this guided meditation. Okay, so I'm asking those parts that might feel a little bit weird about this to embrace the discomfort because that's part of growth. And then speaking to the parts that will enjoy this challenge of remembering to just go full out and go for it. Okay, Jonathan's already excited. Awesome, I love that. He says, I'm ready. Darren says, I'm a wanderer. Awesome. Hey, Christopher, good to have you on here. I got to just scroll up here. I'm missing a few comments here. This is why exercise reduces stress. Action. Yeah, of course. Exercise creates all kinds of nice hormones in the body. So absolutely. Action promotes change in mindset. Yes. Well, it depends, like just the right amount of exercise. You can obviously over exercise and then that throws your body into a different system. Chad, good to have you on. Hey, Luca, good to see you. Ayahuasca, nice. Well, that's way off course right now, but we can address that. Gabor Mate has some great work on ayahuasca, so you can go start with that. And great, so let's get into it. So again, put your headphones on. If you're driving, obviously pull over. You're gonna need to use your body for this. And ideally, again, would be in a place that's sort of isolated, so you're maybe a little less self-conscious. But even then, I think Andrew had the idea of getting a pillow and then shouting into the pillow. You will need to make some noise. So one of the other cues I'll be giving you is to make the sound of like a warrior. So I don't know, you can pick I like to imagine Braveheart or Gladiator or something like that. And I'm about to go into battle, right? Or maybe Lord of the Rings, and just like, right? And so you can make that sound, whatever that is for you, right? And I'm gonna also ask you to punch the sky. If this doesn't feel as powerful for you, you can substitute any movement that feels powerful for you. You know, whatever it is for you, whatever it is for you, you can just do that. I'm just gonna say punch the sky to keep it generic for everyone, but you can substitute your own movement. All right. Hey, Rashid. That's for sharing. Thanks for sharing such good insights. Looks like I'm all into this. Excellent. Okay, so let me get my headphones on so I can DJ this. And here we go. We're going to start pretty much right away. Okay, cool. So pull over wherever you are. Take a deep breath in. Deep breath out. And here we go. Oh, and one other thing. If we get disconnected, look for the replay, and we're going to try it. We've tried our best to make sure this doesn't happen, but it might. So here we go. Looking back at your life, think about the things you're proud about. They almost always involve stepping outside your comfort zone and taking massive action. And they always start from decisions you've made. Decisions have incredible power over our lives. Think of all the pieces of your life you're thrilled about and the pieces you're not so thrilled about. All of them have one thread in common. They all result from decisions you've made. So if decisions have such great power to shape our lives, to change the way we're thinking, change the way we're feeling, Why don't we use this power better? Why do we put off making decisions? The biggest reason is fear. We often avoid decisions because we're afraid of failing, of making the wrong decision. The truth is, if you make the wrong decision, at least you'll find out quickly. You're never going to know by sitting on the fence. More than anything else, I believe it's our decisions, not the conditions of our lives, that determine our destiny. General Norman Schwarzkopf used to tell a story about an early mentor of his, a general in the Army. In asking the general to make a decision about a problem that had been brewing for 10 years, this group brought huge stacks of documents and complicated technical explanations. The general just looked at them and said, "The answer is obvious, gentlemen," and he gave them the answer. After they left, Schwarzkopf, who was a much lower-ranked officer at the time, asked his mentor how he could possibly have taken such decisive action. The general replied, "This has been a decision that no one's been willing to make for 10 years. The best minds have been on it and they can't decide. So you know what? We need to pick one and do it. Decisions are power, and I'm here to make them. That's what I'm in this position for. That's why I'm a leader." Schwarzkopf never forgot that experience. When you think about it, trying to be perfect when it comes to decision making is insane. The only real failure is failing to decide, putting off what inevitably you know you need to do. Do you have some decisions in your life you know you need to make? What have you been putting off? It's time for you to decide. Sometimes all it takes is for you to step up, step out of your fear, put yourself in a courageous state and make it happen. The hardest part almost always is making the decision. After that, it's easy. It's being on the fence that makes you crazy. Today, challenge yourself to let go of the fear, let go of your desire to be perfect, and make one decision that you've been putting off. Then let the power of that decision propel you off the fence and into greater decisive action. By taking these small shifts, you'll see a big difference in the quality of your life. Now, I'll lead you through a 3-step process to help ensure you will follow through on your decisions. But make sure that you have set aside at least 30 minutes uninterrupted, and that you're listening to this with headphones or earphones and in a quiet, private place. All set? Great. Then just relax and enjoy. So right now, what's a decision you know you need to make in your life, but that might be difficult? But the decision is one that you know if you made it, if you made that decision now, you know you'd feel proud. You know that decision would lead to something greater in your life. What's a little decision you've been putting off? Somewhere in the back of your mind, you know it needs to happen. What's a decision you know needs to happen? What's a decision that you'd be afraid of the unknown or failure or disappointment, but you know if you'd make it, if you were to step up today and make it, you know it'd create a greater life for you and for those you love. Decision making isn't easy, but it's worth it. And when you really decide, you cut off any possibility except the thing you've committed to. What's a small decision that if you took action on it immediately, it would significantly improve your life, your social life, your money, your relationships, or your career, or your happiness, or your physical well-being? If you can think of a decision right now that you know if you made it, your life would be better, say yes. Say yes. Say yes. Now I want you to think of a second decision, a bigger decision, a tougher decision. This may be a decision you've wrestled with for a while in your life. You've put it off because you've been afraid, but fear will never give you what you deserve in life. Only strength will. Punch the sky. Punch the sky. Punch the sky. Punch the sky. Say yes. Say yes. Say yes. If you were to make that big decision, a difficult decision, that you want to really make it and take immediate, massive action, how would your life change for the better? What's a decision that would take strength, commitment, and passion? What's a decision that if you made it, would be hard as hell, but once you've made it, you'd be so proud of yourself? What's a decision if you made it, you'd know your life would be better? Even though it'd be difficult initially, it would lead to a much greater life. Is your decision about a relationship, ending one, or beginning one, or reigniting one? Is it a decision about your body? Something you're going to stop doing or start doing? Is it a decision about your career? Something you've got to step up and make happen? Be as specific as possible. Specific, measurable. What decision are you going to make that's a tough decision, but when you make it, you're going to feel so strong and you're going to feel so proud? Maybe it's a decision you ask guidance for. Maybe prayer for guidance, saying, help me make this decision. Guide this to me now. But you know if you made it, life would change forever. What's a difficult but beautiful decision? What's a decision that in your soul you know needs to happen, but you've been putting it off? It may be difficult initially, but once you've acted on it, you'll get momentum. And when you look back 2, 3, or 5 years from now, you can be so grateful you made the decision. It'll be one of the most important ones you've made. If you feel you know what that decision is, say yes. Say yes. Say yes. If you made that decision already, you've already made it. What would change in your life? If you made it and took immediate action, what action would you take? If you'd already made that decision, what little action would you take and what big action would you take? What's a little action you'd take immediately? Because here's one thing I've learned in my life. Never leave the site of making your decision. Never leave the place of making a goal without doing something while you're still in that decisive state to commit you to following through. I'll say that again. Never, never, ever leave the site of setting a goal or making a decision without doing something while you're still in that decisive state that commits you to follow through. That's how you keep momentum. Most people have good intentions, but then they get out of that decisive state and they don't follow through. So what action can you take immediately, today, on that big decision to commit yourself? Would you call somebody? Would you schedule a meeting? Would you write an email? Would you enroll in a class? What would you do immediately so you knew you meant it when taking action? And then what would be a second big action you would take? I always tell people, don't just decide, commit and act. You've been fat and you decide to take care of your body. So you go home and you tear everything out of your refrigerator, out of your cupboards, and you dump it all down the trash while you play your favorite music like you're the champion of the world. Commit and act. You hate your car, your family's embarrassed of your car, you don't just wait around, you blow up the car so you never drive that thing again. Commit and act. What's something crazy or fun that you can do that would mean to yourself, I mean business? What's a big action you can take today or the next couple of days? And the same thing on your smaller decision. What's a little action you can take on your smaller decision? And what's a big action you can take that would change you, commit you to follow through? To hire somebody? Would you get a mentor? Would you enroll somewhere? Would you fire somebody maybe? Would you let go of something? Would you schedule a meeting? What would you do? Commit and act so it's real. If you've got two actions that you could take immediately on your small decision and your big decision, if you know what you're going to do, say yes. Say yes. Say yes. Then right now, using your voice and body, make the sound of unstoppable intensity as loud as you can. Go! Now, see yourself, know yourself following through. And we'll do it again, yes. And we'll do it again, yes. And every time you say it, you'll feel your commitment. We'll do it about a dozen times and then we'll celebrate our commitment. Okay, are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? See yourself, know yourself following through. Okay, we're going to do it again. We're going to say yes, and we'll do it again, yes. Okay, and every time you say it, you'll feel your commitment. We'll do it about a dozen times, and then we'll celebrate our commitment. Are you ready now? Are you ready now? Then with your eyes closed, breathe deep. Feel strong. Feel like you're getting ready to commit. Not just decide, but totally commit. That you're going to find a way, or if there is no way, you'll make the way to make this happen. Get ready. Feel strong. Feel like you're getting ready to commit. Get ready. Feel it build up in your body. because we're going to physically commit with our bodies. We're going to embody this. We're going to move our bodies with movement and say yes. With every yes, feel your total commitment. Get ready now. Get set. We're going to physically commit with our bodies. With every yes, you will feel your total commitment. You're going to move your body with movement and you're going to say yes. With every yes, you will feel that commitment. Get ready. Get set. Go, punch the sky. Yes, 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 yes. Now celebrate the victory of your commitment. Celebrate it. Go. With your face, your voice, and your body. Lift your arms up. Look up to the sky. Celebrate it. Yes. Celebrate it. Yes. Celebrate it. Yes. If you can feel inside your body, not just in your mind, but in your body, that you are committed to make this happen, say yes. Say yes. Say yes. What's the difference in how it feels between deciding and committing? Can you feel it? Where is it? How does it feel different? How does it feel different? Now celebrate the victory of your commitment. Celebrate it. Go with your face, your voice, and your body. Go. Celebrate it. Yes. Celebrate it. Yes. Celebrate it. Yes. Say yes. Say yes. If you can feel inside your body, not just in your mind, but in your body, that you're committed to make this happen, say yes. Say yes. Say yes. Good. Now there's one more step, and that's the state of absolute resolve. And when you've resolved something, what does that mean? It means it's done. Deciding is like a war. Committing is power and momentum. It takes the moment and carries it into the future. But resolve is effortless. When it's done in you, it'll be done in the world. Even if it's not yet done in the world, when it's done in you, there's no more discussion. Somebody asked a 5-year-old once, what is resolve? And the little boy said, promising yourself that you'll never give up and there's no other option. I thought, what a great definition. So here's what I want you to do. When you go to resolve, how does it feel when something's resolved in your body? How does it feel? Is it heavy or light? Light, that's right. So what we're going to do this time, we're going to feel that powerful state. But when it gets ready, we got to resolve. We're going to do it like this. We're going to make a move that's just effortless. We're going to go softly, like yes, 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 with a big smile. Yes, yes. And then we'll celebrate our resolve. But to do it, you've got to be in a powerful state. Say, I am unstoppable. Say, I am unstoppable. Celebrate your strength now. 1, 2, 3, go. Celebrate your strength now. Go. Shout out loud. What do you resolve? What else do you resolve to do? Shout it out loud. What do you resolve? What else do you resolve to do? Shout out loud, what do you resolve to do? What do you resolve to do? Celebrate your strength again. 1, 2, 3, go! Celebrate it. Shout out loud, what do you resolve to do? Shout out loud, what do you resolve to do? Now celebrate your strength again. 1, 2, 3, go! Think of the 2 decisions you've made, and then what we're going to do is effortlessly, over and over, say yes, yes, and then we'll celebrate it. Breathe the way you breathe when you anticipate something great is going to happen. How do you breathe when you anticipate great lovemaking? Breathe that way. That's it. That's it. Put the look on your face that you have when you anticipate something great is about to happen. And get ready to feel total resolve in you. Effortless, enjoyable. You know it's true, you know it's done. It's no longer a question. Even if other people are upset, you understand, but it's done. It's already resolved. There's no going back. It's done in you, as you, it is you. Get ready. Resolve. Gratitude. Breathe deep. Feel a sense of positive expectancy. Get ready. Like you can't wait to resolve this. You can't wait to say yes, yes, effortlessly and feel it resolve. To feel the joy of it. Resolve leads to joy, doesn't it? It feels light. It feels alive. Get ready. Feel it coming. Feel it coming. 1, here it comes, here it comes. You can't wait to say yes effortlessly. Feel it coming. Feel it coming. 1, 2. Here it comes. Here it comes. You can't wait to say yes effortlessly. 2, 2, 3. Go. Yes. 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 Feel it now. Just feel now that it is done. It's in you, as you, it is you. And life will never be the same again. Breathe. Enjoy it. And as you do, just make the sound of the joyful sound of resolve. Make the sound of what it feels like to be able to let go and know it's done. Make that sound out loud. Go. 1, 2, 3. Make the sound. Go. Feel it. Take it into your heart. Take it into your soul. Give thanks for whatever has guided you to decide, to commit, and to resolve. And you know it's right, don't you? You know it's right, don't you? It's guided to this moment. It's why you got this. One of the reasons you got this was to make these 2 decisions. It's the beginning of more of your life being yours. What's possible now in your life today because of these 2 decisions that you've resolved? What can you enjoy more of? What can you appreciate more of? What can you experience more of because of these 2 decisions? That's it. Feel it. So right now, bring to these decisions one more emotion, the state of gratitude. How do you breathe when you feel so grateful? How do you breathe when you know grace has come to you? How do you breathe when you know you've been guided? Put both your hands on your heart, keeping your eyes closed. Breathe deep. That's it. Feel it. Both your hands on your heart and breathe deep into your heart. Breathe deep into your heart and feel the power of your heart. Feel the strength of your heart. Feel the beauty of your heart. Physically feel it as you breathe deep into your heart and lungs. What are you grateful for? What are you grateful your heart has guided you to do or feel or experience or share or enjoy? How grateful can you be for your life and your heart? Because you didn't have to earn your heart. It was given to you as a gift, wasn't it? You didn't have to earn it. It's a pure gift. For as long as it beats, we live. Give thanks for your heart and for its guidance. And as you hold your heart, touch your heart, and breathe into your heart, I want you to think of 3 moments in your life you can feel deeply grateful for because you want to. One at a time. Step first into the first one right now and feel so grateful for a moment in your life, any moment at all. It could be as a child or as an adult. It could have been recent or a long time ago. But just breathe in your heart and step into that moment you can feel so grateful for. See what you saw, hear what you heard, and feel what you felt then. and feel that gratitude in your body right now. Now, think of another moment you can be deeply grateful for, a special moment in your life. Step into that memory like you're there, looking through your own eyes, seeing, hearing, feeling what you felt then right now. And feeling so grateful. Think of a third moment now you can feel incredibly grateful for. Step into it as if you were there, feeling so grateful. Think of a coincidence now. We all love coincidences. We didn't make them happen. Something happened for us. We didn't do it. What's a coincidence that led to something so important in your life, so beautiful? What's a coincidence that led to something you're grateful for? Step in that moment and feel grateful for that coincidence that led to something you love, appreciate, or enjoy. What's one more coincidence that has guided you to something you love in your life? What's another coincidence you can be grateful for? See it, feel the gratitude. Was it a coincidence, or were you guided? Was it a coincidence, or were you guided? And now just give thanks in whatever way is most appropriate for you. A prayer, maybe just 2 words. Thank you. Just give thanks in whatever way is most appropriate for you. Thank you. Thank you. Think about the power now of what's guided you to the 2 decisions you've made. Think about the power of momentum, your ability to find and enjoy freedom, your ability to tap into your passion, what you love, what you hate, what excites you, what you want. Feel the power of decision, how hard it is, but then easy to commit and even easier to resolve. Think about the 2 actions you're going to take, how you're going to submit your follow-through. Think about how your life is going to change for the better and how grateful you are. Think about the fact that you created this, you, and grace is with you. You've been guided. Let the energy of gratitude, of joy, of certainty start to grow in your body. It's going to become a celebration in a moment, like the greatest celebration in your life. It's going to be a celebration, and when it happens, you'll feel like your whole body is igniting with excitement, with energy, with gratitude, with joy. It'll explode from either side of you, out your mouth and out of your body with sound. You'll feel the vibration of it, and you'll own your new destiny. Feel it start to build, the feeling of energy, a feeling of excitement, a feeling of gratitude, a feeling of passion. Feel the momentum building up. It's getting stronger and stronger. And now make the sound of it as loud as you can. 1, 2, 3, go! Now double the intensity of your sound. Double it. 1, 2, 3, go! Feel it in your heart. Feel it in your heart. In you, as you, it is you. Feel the strength of it. Feel the joy of it. Feel the guidance of it. You made the decisions, and now the future is yours. Breathe it. Feel it inside you. It's not outside you, it's inside you. It's a power that's always been there, activated in you, as you, it is you. Let that energy build up once again, an energy, an excitement, a passion, a celebration. Get ready to make that sound even stronger. 1, 2, 3, go! Double the intensity now. 1, 2, 3, go! Face your voice in your body. Go! One more time, go! Again, go! 1, 2, 3, go! Celebrate! Make the sound even stronger, go! Double the intensity now. 1, 2, 3, go! One more time now, go! Take it into your heart. Feel it. Own it. In you, as you, it is you. And it is grace within you. You have your new momentum. It's an inner strength. It's based on your true freedom of power, passions, decisions, commitment, resolve, action, and momentum. The future is yours. Enjoy.
You and me.
Enjoy it.
Let's get
And
together now. You'll see just how this life is supposed to be. Come on.
Okay, how was that for you? How was that? You take a minute here, just check in with you and see where how you're at, how you doing, and just share some of the revelations or decisions that you've made through that process, and of course the action that you're going to take. So this is rolling right into the next challenge. Just as we prep that, I'd love to hear how that went for you. Steve says, man, couldn't help but smile. Awesome. Jonathan says, I'm doing great. Excellent. Was that powerful for you? Videos, oh, I'm sorry about that. The audio was clear on our side. So hopefully you can get it on replay. It might be a little smoother for you. So how was that for you as you experienced that? And I realized that there is a 12 versus 15 second lag between this and how it comes up. So I'm going to wait just a little bit longer. And I guess I'll stop share on this one. And let me try to just share a little bit of some music here as we reflect. Keep it real low here. And there we go. All right, so how was that for you? I'd love to hear any reflection that you've got coming out of that. And I guess I can just start by, I continue talking about the challenge. So today's mission. Oh, and by the way, I kept sometimes the volume of the music was higher than my voice, and it might've been a little bit challenging to hear my voice. Part of that was on purpose because I wanted to have you strain a little bit to hear, stay focused. And you're going to, it's less of a trance and more of a using your body and celebrating and locking it in with your body and anchoring those together. Oh, great. So now the comments are rolling in here. Dipto says, great, thank you. Also the part where we were asked to recollect coincidences and things we are grateful for made me emotional. Oh, love it. So happy for that. Rashid says, thanks for this awesome experience. So now I know what I have to do and what I'm going to do to make things happen. Awesome, man. Hey, Luke, good to have you on here. And Darren says he got lost early on. He may need to repeat it. Coming up with decisions of things I'm going to do or whatever, I went blank. Halfway, I came up with something, didn't feel so comfortable about them being appropriate. We'll need to, okay, so that's important. So just recognize that this process might have brought up the parts that do get in the way of decisions. And just acknowledging those, like, hello, I see you there. So now you know what it is to work on. So that's an important thing. anything that comes up is helpful. Anything that this activates is sending you important messages. Rashid says, now just got to make sure I don't lose that, make things happen feeling. That's right. So how do you not lose it? How do you make sure you follow through on it? You have to take an action. So right now, while you're in that moment of decision, you've made that decision. You've said, yes, this is all, I already know what it is that a small decision, a large decision that I have to make. What is the action, at least one action that I'm going to take to force me to follow through? How am I going to get skin in the game on my decision? And that is today's mission, should you choose to accept it. For day two, day two's mission is to go live and share your two decisions, the small and large decision, and at least one action that you're going to take to force you to follow through on these decisions. Okay, so those things go together. The cognitive and the behavioral, they go together. The making of the decisions and the following through with action. Those are really important. I don't want to see you fall back into that place of indecision, that place of paralysis, maybe through analysis or maybe just through fear. And we have parts that also come into block. They fog, they cloud, they blank because they're afraid of what might happen if you were to take action or if you were to follow through with the decision. So day one was addressing those parts. So if those parts came up, and it might have come up for a couple of people, day one, redo those. Or I have a course, a couple courses that address those parts directly. Freedom U does it really deeply, rock solid relationships as well, and in heart as well. So revisiting those meditations, and if you can afford it, working with a good private therapist on a personal level, so that you can work with those parts that come in the way. Those are the great ways to do it. But I do have courses in those areas. Okay, so I'm gonna wind down the music here and stop that, stop share. Cool. And Jonathan says, it was powerful and grateful for who I am, what I have, and let go of all of my negative patterns. I was dancing all over. Awesome, Jonathan. John says, it was lovely. It was a little much to juggle at once, coming up with a decision and going along with the meditation, but it wasn't that bad. Best way I know of to get off the fence. Awesome. So how do we ensure that it now makes a difference in our lives instead of just nice, good feelings? So these guided meditations aren't just to tickle your feelings, but to actually effect real lasting change in your life. Well, right now, when you're in that moment of decision, that window of opportunity of action, the window of action is now available for you. You've got to step forward. And the way to do that is just to take one action that will force you to follow through down the line. Whatever that is, maybe it's to put down a deposit, maybe it's to send an email, maybe it's to book something. It might be just because maybe it's a brand new decision that didn't even occur to you until now, to begin the research. Or maybe it's a buddy that will hold you accountable inside the community or the group, and you can find them here. All right, so make that decision and come up with an action that you'll take. And it could be when you go live, you could be asking for some accountability buddies, or if you already know what you need to do to get that skin in the game to force you to follow through, that's the one you go with. Okay, so that's today's mission. Day two's mission is to go live, share the two decisions you made as a result of this guided meditation exercise, and then one action that you're going to take within the next 24, 48 hours that will force you to follow through. Ideally, in the US and in Europe, for most of the world, it is still daylight right now. So ideally, it would happen today. What action are you taking today? Guys, it's almost midnight for some of us, so I'll allow you to do it in the morning. But within the next reasonable hour, within definitely 24 hours, let's say, what action are you going to take or have you taken? Go live and share that, and we will hold you accountable automatically. Just by you going live, it's going to be putting some skin in the game already. All right, so getting you to get behind your decision and take action. All right, so make sure that action is something that will force you to follow through and force you to have some skin in the game on your decision. Okay, so decide, commit, now resolve, and take action. All right, so that's mission 2. And we're now moving into prepping you for tomorrow. Tomorrow is the big integration. You must come back for tomorrow. That is the biggest day, biggest lessons. And it's also the biggest prize. I'm gonna be giving away the biggest prize. I wanna announce the winners, the moment that some of you have been waiting for. And I also want to remind, because we got caught off yesterday, the winners from yesterday, in case they didn't realize this. I'm not sure. I haven't checked in with the sport team if they've written into them yet, but it is Darren Fryer, who I think is on here. He's on there. I saw him. Darren Fryer and Steve Schneider. The two of you gentlemen have won free access to a month's free access to our legendary coaching group, Right to Support at auradating.com to claim your prize. Congratulations. Loving your entries, loving your energy and engagement. And today's winners, based on yesterday's live mission entries, are Ty Elliott and Steve, and I'm trying to get this last name right, Iochapetti. You guys are the grand winners of today's mission, day one mission, and you have won free access to our course that is not available for sale because it's so advanced. It is the True Self course. So congratulations on getting access to our step-by-step 6-hour True Self course on, guess what? Your true self, how to uncover, access, discover your authentic true self. And it's all about that, and it goes real deep. This is one of our most advanced courses. So enjoy that. Right to Support at auradating.com to claim your prize. Ty Elliott and Steve Iochapetti. Am I saying that right? I is good. Okay, cool. Hope I got that name right. All right, great. Tang Chung said, oh, Tang Chung, good to see you. Thank you so much for this, David. I really appreciate what you're doing, especially given these times. I'm so glad to be able to join in the live stream this time. Actually, this couldn't have come at a better time. Oh, well, that's wonderful to hear, man. Wonderful to hear. And William says, yesterday's second meditation generated a lot of tears for me, like crying the tears for the entire year. Wow. Don't know about the long-term effects of it yet. Today's one generated tears at the words, beauty of your heart, and you did not have to earn it. Oh, lovely, William. Don't know about long-term effects of it either. Great. Now, here's how you can make sure there are long-term effects, that you take action. So now that you have these realizations, you've come to see some new perspective, you come to feel some new emotions and new approach, new perspectives. Now take new actions. What is one action that you're going to take as a result of this to force you to follow through on the decisions you made, or just on making your life better, of getting to the next level, of stepping outside your comfort zone in a direction that is good for you? Okay. And then the other thing to make sure that it works for the long term is training, right? So it's not just learning it once and then setting and forget it. As an adult, you know that there's almost nothing important in life that is like that. Everything, any valuable skill is something that you have to keep coming back to. It's training, not just learning. The connotation there being learning is something you just do once and it's done. As adults, there are very few important skills that are just learn it once and you can forget about it and it's always going to be there. All these important skills, these life skills, including these emotional intelligence skills, accessing these emotions and understanding how it affects your mind and your body. These are things that you train on a daily basis. These are things that you come back to each time and you can review, and you can come back to after a period of time has passed, and you'll discover that as you've been applying this in your habits or whatever that you've been working on a regular basis, they've changed who you are. Now you've changed, and you come back to the same material and you pick up all these new insights, revelations, perspectives, approaches that you didn't notice before because you've changed and it's the same material. That's how powerful my material is. I get that all the time. That's part of the way I've designed them. And in some of the courses, I have you repeat some of the meditations, because if you've gone through those 5 weeks, 6 weeks, or 8 weeks, you've changed. And now when you hit that meditation again, it's going to feel really different. And that's a really cool way of exploring your own growth. And it's something you can do for yourself for the rest of your life. I have guys who've been taking my courses who have been passing them down to their sons, which has been something I didn't expect. I didn't even think of that. But it's intergenerational now. They've passed down their username password to their sons, and which I guess is something I do about that. But anyway, I love that. And now I'm helping a whole new generation through the same courses, because it's something that you can keep coming back to. So father and son are both hitting these courses and getting all of this growth out of that. And it's training, not just doing it once, but doing it over and over again at periodic intervals. And then of course you have these habits that you cultivate that you do on a daily basis, or maybe twice a day, like meditation, for instance. And that's how growth happens, just like any other skill. The more you do it, the better you get at it. And then of course you do take that time for recovery, recuperation, regroup, but then you come back and you hit it again, right? So that's training. It's not just learning. And I just wanted to point out also, okay, so announce the winners. So make sure you write to support@ordating.com to claim your prize. I also want to announce that there's a concierge page. So all of the details, the prizes, the 4 steps, the challenge, the mission action sheet, the downloadable PDF for the mission for today is now live and available on the concierge page. It's just been updated. So go ahead and click that link after this is done and go download your action step handout, your PDF download. It will also recap for you what the actual challenge is, which is, again, the mission, if you choose to accept it, is to go live and share your 2 decisions that you made as a result of the guided meditative exercise and the 1 action that you're going to take to force you to follow through. Okay, and tomorrow is going to be integration day. This is where we bring all of these parts together and we go deeper and to another level, and it's going to be amazing. I also want to point out that I've opened up for all of you guys who are on live with us. You're the only ones who know this. We're not announcing this to our email list or to anywhere else, just those who are on live. I've opened up the Platinum Partnership, so you can go check it out early, a day early, and we're also opening up just for you live. So I'm actually waiting until the end to tell you about this. We're going to give you a coupon code just for people who are watching this right now live. So it is, I believe it is not written up in the description. It's just if you're watching this right now and you're, 2 hours in. So thank you so much for being on with me for 2 hours. We're giving you a special coupon code for those who are live to save $250 off the Platinum Partnership. And we are, so I can't remember the coupon code. So the coupon code is all caps Mission Transformation Live. All caps Mission Transformation Live. And that coupon code will be valid only until Sunday. And I'm not announcing it in any other forum. It's just to reward you guys who are watching this live training. If you need to get that coupon code again, you can always email support@ordating.com and then they'll send it to you. You can just copy and paste the coupon code and throw it in there. $250 off the Platinum Partnership. It is all access to all of my courses. All of my current courses are over 20 courses in there that represent over 500 hours of course material. It also includes a private coaching call. It also includes access to our Platinum Partnership group. That is my most elite group. And I do meetups once COVID or travel opens up again. Whenever I'm passing through, I usually throw up an announcement or an email out to the Platinum partners, and I do meetups around the world for our men, because our guys in Platinum, our men and women in Platinum, because our most elite, in a way, our Platinum partners have invested in me. The way I see it is, you've invested, you believe that I can help you, you've invested in me, you pay one price, and it's good for the rest of your life. It's good for the rest of the future. It's lifetime access. So if that excites you, and I hope it does, go check out the details. It's on the link in the description. Just scroll down to the bottom of the description and it's there. All right. Oh, Darren says, you are part of their legacy. That's awesome that you're having such an impact on so many people. Congratulations. Thank you. Yeah, it is a great honor, and I'm humbled by it. So just want to wrap up and say, come back tomorrow for the big integration day. I'm super pumped about this. I've been putting a lot of thought into what we're going to be covering tomorrow, and go live and share for your mission for this day 2. Go live and share your 2 decisions and the 1 action that you're going to take to force you to follow through. And thanks so much for being on. Love you guys. It means so much to me that you will be on. I know this is odd timing for some of you, definitely for me, and it means so much that you're on with us. Go check out the concierge page to get your PDF download and to see the written action step. And if you want to check out the Platinum Partnership, it's available on that link right now. Early bird opened up right now. And you have a $250 off coupon, Mission Transformation Live, all caps. That will get you the $250 off. If you need any of that, again, you can always write to support@ordating.com and they will clarify for you all of that, because I'm going by memory here. All right. And congratulations again to Darren and Steve and the other Steve and Ty. Congratulations on winning your prizes, and write to support@ordating to claim them. I will see you same time tomorrow. Thanks so much. Again, David Tian signing out. Have a great day. See you tomorrow. Mission Transformation.